about your finances, a lot of times people ask you questions like, are you prudent with your finances? Do you know how to handle them? How do you use your finance? Yes, those questions come up because people, you yourself, in fact, you are, you expect yourself to have integrity with your finances. So we're talking about financial integrity today on the show. And I know that you're going to enjoy this segment. You're really going to enjoy this segment. Um, it is going to be a very lovely discussion. My squad, they're here, able and capable to give you what you need to discuss financial. I mean, to enhance your financial integrity. You know how when you're talking about financial integrity, you're talking about how you manage your funds, how you're accountable to I mean, how you're accountable when talking about finances and all that. So basically, that's what we're discussing today. And I do hope that you continue to be with us. You will not just be distracted. Well, our world is full of distractions. So stay tuned with us today. Don't be distracted for any reason because I have Solomon Sabe on set today and I have Joyce.
Happy birthday, Prudence. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Where's the cake?
Can you let me finish introducing you?
I was thinking you are going to start on that note now. Happy birthday, Prudence Burger. So one of us here is celebrating her birthday, and look at how she's looking all beautiful and in the birthday mood and all of that. Happy birthday, and not just her. We have another crew member, Zita. Happy birthday to you, and we pray that God bless you and then open doors for you for favor. And we know that after this financial integrity, there's going to be something. You know, we're in church, we cannot talk about after party. No, we don't do that. So we do after prayers.
There's holy after parties.
But in that after prayers, of course, there will be refreshment.
Celebration of life.
When we pray. Thank you. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I don't know the love I'm feeling on this set. I'm not sure I can continue saying anything. I'm blushing.
Please do. It's your day.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right, so we're talking financial integrity. I do hope that at the end of this, my financial integrity would have gone it up.
All this food I used to spend anyhow because it's their birthday. They will just go to the market and just use the money for their business.
You need to spoil yourself once in a while.
That's the word.
That's the
Spoil
word.
yourself and then empty your account.
You see, it's really important that we talk about financial integrity because we're in a time where people will make a lot of excuses for reckless spending and lack of accountability. Recently, there has been a lot of clamor before yesterday, how that, where's our president? Our president just went mute, and then Nigerians are going through a lot and all of that. And behold, the presidency yesterday released a statement saying that, he traveled to this place and that place, and some of his media people were saying how that he has the right to go to anywhere he wants to, he can rule from anywhere, he doesn't have to be present and all of that. And that just speaks to lack of accountability. You need to be accountable to the people that elect you to office. And the same thing with finances. If you are trusted or you are in a position where people trust you with their finances, you should be accountable, you should be transparent. So when you talk about integrity, we discussed that concept as a whole on this set, how that it has to do with your words and your action matching together. It has to do with you being honest, you being trustworthy, that when you say yes, people will say yes. This person, as far as you're doing business with you, your yes is your yes and your no is your no. If you're giving him money to get goods or services, then of course you get the value for what you are giving money for. So I think generally when you come down to financial integrity, it is you adhering to ethical principle, especially as regards money or finances, not just share the money is in my custody, let me just use and buy this, tomorrow I'm going to refund it. This money is meant for your school fees, no, let me give my girlfriend so that she can sub, and at the end of the day I know I'm going to get it. So you just spend recklessly, going outside even the budget or what is expected of you. You're an accountant in an organization, and because you are an accountant, you think you have access to signing of checks and all that. Let me just borrow from this money, I'm going to return it, and then the money you're expecting to get to return it is nowhere to be found. You see, your integrity at that point is going to be ruined.
Yeah.
So, but it's just important when we talk about financial integrity, you being trustworthy, you being transparent, you being accountable. When they say as head of this place or as a staff of this place, could you help us go to the market and get this and this? Like, go and buy it. Come back with the receipt that says, oh, I bought it at so price. Not you going to say, give me empty receipt. Then you come back and inflate the price and hold the money. Like today we find that even in church.
Yeah.
It was yesterday that the GM was saying how that, oh, we have magnified some sin and we have made some sin look like they are not sin. So somebody can just lie and go scot-free. And then another person will commit fornication or adultery and he will please on church discipline. Today we have a lot of people that are using spirituality to extort. Like they use their positions, be it pastor as head of their denomination, to like siphon the money. And you are in charge, God will forgive us and all of that. A lot of embezzlement is going on. Imagine people giving offering for mission, and somebody is deciding, no, we cannot send this money to the headquarters to give it to missionaries. It's too much. And then they decide to slash the money. Maybe it's 100,000 and they send 50 and keep 50. It's lack of financial integrity. No matter your level of spirituality, sin is sin. This also is sin. Like it just gives you a bad omen, a bad impression. Nobody wants to trust you. Nobody wants to do anything with you. Today in Nigeria, we have people that are on the run. Why? Because of mismanagement of public funds. Like imagine somebody about 80 billion, one person. Like you're paying school fees ahead of time. Is alert. Now EFCC are on his case now. Like it is well.
You know, interestingly, you mentioned that even in the church now, you find a lot of issues when you're talking about financial integrity. I think I've heard of a pastor being said of, oh, very good pastor on the pulpit, he preaches so awesomely well, but when it comes to money, you cannot trust him. So this already waters down even the integrity you already seem to have for other things, because you cannot harness and function, use your money, handle your money rightly. This is really actually talking about financial integrity is a very key thing. Some of us have found ourselves in places of position where you need to handle money, even adashe. We talk about that monthly contribution that your group of people will just, I'm trying to get the better.
For December to pack it, and then they say the woman that's collecting the contribution
has amnesia,
or she's nowhere
lost
to
her
go, or
memory.
she lost her memory. What's that? What's
identify
all that? You come back to your senses where you collect
And
One word.
talking about integrity,
Yeah,
one meal, one plate of meat.
talking about integrity, if you don't have integrity, then your integrity as a whole is shaky. You cannot have incomplete integrity. It has to be a whole. If you have orange and it was sliced into four, one piece is out, it's no longer a whole orange because one piece is out. So you cannot call that integrity if one aspect is shaky. And this financial aspect is a very delicate matter that everybody is interested in. The poor, the average, the rich, although they said you're either rich or poor, no more average.
There's nothing like average.
No more average. The poor, the rich, the little people, the elderly ones, everyone is always interested in this financial aspect. So it means the financial aspect of your integrity needs to be worked on if it is shaky, and it's not something that can be hidden. If you don't have integrity financially, everybody would know about it. And even when you put effort, you work on it, eventually not everybody will get to trust you again. You only need to do something once and everybody has been taught the lesson. So others may eventually learn to trust you back, others may not. So it means your starting needs to be strong, your foundation needs to be strong and not shaky. I know of this workplace that deal with finances a lot, and if you steal something as little as 100 naira, you will be sacked. Now this is their reason. If you could steal 100 naira, if you see 1,000 naira, you will steal it. If you see 100,000, you will steal it. If you see 1 million naira, you will steal it. So something as little as 100 naira, as 50 naira, you take it, you would be sacked. So this is financial integrity. Like, you have to train yourself up. When you see people saying this one cannot be trusted with money, this one can be it is all about training yourself.
Jemima, somebody lost his
we
job
can
in the
give
bank.
excuses and say, well, I grew up in a home where money that is not an excuse. You train yourself. Joy said something the other day. You cannot say this is the way I was trained. When you grow up and realize you were trained wrongly, retrain yourself. It is no longer an era where you give blame games to other people. You have to be up and doing about whatever you do, because people are looking at you. People are picking examples from you, or are using you as a bad example. You see this person, don't be like her. You see this one, don't be like, and then they see another one and say, you see this one, be like her, emulate what she is doing. It's because of the integrity that you have set for yourself, and you should make sure that it is all round. Don't work on certain aspects and then neglect other aspects. Integrity is integrity.
It was on today's live that I gave the example of someone that lost his job because of 4,000 naira, a banking job. Like, he was paid, I think, about 250,000. And there's what they do that's called integrity test. You can get employed, but in the process, they do that. They can send a customer to just come in to deposit money. And maybe instead of, he'll pick the teller and he has 14,000. But what that man did, he now wrote 10,000 naira. Like, he said to deposit 10,000 naira. But the money was 14,000. So when he attached it to the teller, he gave the person at the counter, and then he now counted in and noticed that it was more than. So apparently the guy wrote 10,000, so he doesn't know that. So this particular banker decided to just, okay, yeah, you're done. He processed everything fast. He didn't know that the cameras were picking all of that, and eventually I think he went out to the bathroom and decided to hide the money. So when they finished work for that very day, they were doing the check and balance. They say, are you sure you don't have anything extra on what you? He said, no, everything is balanced. And they still asked him again, you are very sure? He said there's nothing. So I think they replayed everything for him, and they found out that he actually removed 4,000 naira. So ideally, what you're supposed to do after collecting that money, you say, there's extra 4,000, you return it. You have financial integrity. But he decided, like, to be the wise person, and then he said, oh, this man is foolish by giving me 14,000 instead of 10,000. He lost that job. Think about the job that he has been looking for years. And that's the attitude of a lot of people that are in corporate organizations and even businesses. A client will come to you and say, I want this contract done. And then the value it at 500,000. Then when you go to buy materials, you make sure that with the materials and the work, it is valued at 200,000. Like, not even up to half, 50% of the money. And then you decide to slash it down, and this is your gain. And out of the 250,000, you still have your own workmanship. You find that even with people that give contract, I'm going to connect you with this government parastatals. You're going to do the contract, but you give me so share. Like, a lot of people are found wanting when it comes to financial integrity. Like, your self-control just diminishes when you just see money. Like, you cannot be trusted. You go to buy something, they say, oh, how much is this? You come with estimation, quotation that says, oh, it is 2,000, it is 10,000. But when you go to buy, you're buying less, you're collecting empty receipts to come and sit down and feel it. Like, even if you don't get caught immediately, it will affect you tomorrow. It's just a terrible attitude that I think a lot of people need to work on. It's just not a good place to be. Be that one person that can be trusted. Like, you do not even know where your blessings are coming, where the doors are going to be open. Think about that customer. If he said, oh, no, take, there's an extra 4,000 naira, the bank would know that this is somebody that we can trust. He will not just, like, have his job, but he will be trusted with bigger opportunity and bigger privileges.
You see, the thing is, when we're talking about financial integrity, Bahaushe, how someone will say something like, Kaga kudi jikinka na bari. Immediately you're seeing the sight of money, your body is dancing and shaking, you're just uncomfortable. Okay, I have to get this, I have to. And because of that, your sense of reasoning is automatically just directed towards how am I going to get
And
that
the
money?
moment the money finish, your real sense will come back.
It's like you lose your senses. and you begin to hear people say, it was the devil, oh, and things like that. But this is something that you've conceived over time. I think that we really all need to be deliberate. We talk about how you need to be deliberate about everything on this set, and that's not something that is overemphasized. Being deliberate about financial integrity is the only way you can actually have that form of integrity. Because you know how when people talk about sexual relations, everybody just says, oh no, self-control is really quite hard in that aspect. And then you come and you talk about finances, the two of them walk hand in hand. It's like the way people think that you don't have self-control when it comes to sexual relations is the same way it happens with finances. There's someone says that the two sins have a spiritual background to them. It's like they're controlled spiritually. And so you need to be deliberate to get over this kind of things. Everybody wants to have a comfortable life. Honestly, if I have the money at my beck and call, I would glow.
Especially that
It's True.
you know that saying that says money answered all things. You know, people are so much attached with the money simply because they said it answered all things. But permit me to say sin is a sin. Sin is a sin. And if you look at it this way, earlier we were discussing, before the show, we were talking about the issue of money and the issue of connection. Because some people feel if they have money, they have everything. Not knowing that you can still have money, but you don't have a good relationship. Your money is still useless because people will see you with your money, but they are just looking at you. So,
will your money fix your car? Like,
that's
the money work and fix your car. You need somebody.
just simple example. Can money fix your car?
Can you eat the money if you're hungry?
That is it. Even if you have the money, you need a driver, you need a gardener, you need a cook. So how you need services of people. So how do you relate with them? There are some people that you will have the money, like whether you get it legit or not. The question now is how you handle it. That's what we are talking about. How do you handle people? How do you behave? How do you relate with people because you have money? There are some people, they will say, if this person, God forbid, I will not work for the person. Even if the work is 10,000 and is giving me 1 million, I will not. Why? You begin to ask questions. You understand? Okay. Jamima talked about the issue of a holistic approach to what we are discussing. And I look at it this way. If you said trust, so can I trust you with money and not trust you with woman? If you said, okay, you can have trust on this, but not on the other aspect of it, it doesn't make it complete. So that's why we are talking about the issue of sin completely. So you look at it, coming back to what I said, that money answered all things. There's a way we are living in illusion. So our mind is being like set towards money. That is everything. So that's why you see that people pursue money like life depends on it. Regardless, they don't care. All they are after is, let me just get this money.
And you've just been quoting one verse where people, not verse, one saying that everybody talks about money answereth all things.
Yes.
And then there's also a verse in the Bible that goes, but the love of money is the root of all evil. And it says it's encompassing all evil. So you can just imagine if you're driven, if you're functioning just for the love of money, you would not care that the money you are using belongs to your nation. I'm just referring back to the 80 billion that someone went to siphon, and he's on the run now. The FCC are on his case and things like that. This is someone who did not care because it was money that was his design. He was just thinking, okay, I have to get this money so my son is going to be comfortable. Or my child, my daughter, whatever it is. So the point is this. Because money is the root of all, the love of money is the root of all evil. When your life is automatically just centered solely on money, you would not care the means that you get it. And if you don't care the means that you get it, you would not care the means that you spend it. Because if you are not careful about how you get something, if you don't, it's just a simple illustration. If you are given free money, if somebody just comes and gives you, oh, take this, it's a gift, you would use it. However, you just before you know it, you've finished using that money. But if it's something that you struggled for and you had to take a sweat for that money, you would account for it.
You make calculations over and over again.
That's why someone would say, if you get money, free money, you would end up buying things like shawarma and pizza and all that. You just spend it.
Even if you work hard for the money, it's not in all cases.
True.
Because there is this saying again that we only live the spirit is one. We only live once, so let's just eat and die. And then you hear this quotation coming that today is here, tomorrow.
Tomorrow will take care of
Yesterday I said something. I said, you see, one thing, most of these things we do, even our God detests it. Like, the wages of sin is death. Like, it's clear. All this misappropriation, lack of accountability, lack of transparency is sin. But we like to just make certain things sin and certain things not sin. We always point to our leaders. While outrightly we can see how people are embezzling money that belongs to the public, like taxpayers' money. Even in our own little corner, we see how that people lack financial integrity. You hear like the statement, let's eat today, you don't know tomorrow. There are people that monies were kept with them, money that does not even belong to them, and they know it, but they will eat that money and tell you that even if you take me to police station safe, they will still say you have to give me time to pay back. Like, they don't care the outcome of it. Like, you find people not being transparent. A lot of leaders in organizations, in businesses, like you have people that you work with and they are entitled to certain like allowances or salaries, and you are unable to give them. You see, the right thing to do is to call those people and tell them, explain to them, you didn't get this because of that. But that you are quiet about it is lack of integrity, financial integrity, because money is involved. Yes. They are entitled to it, and you did not give them, and you did not say anything. It's lack of financial integrity. It's just unfortunate that we live in a world where the rich want to continue to enrich themselves at the detriment of poor. Like, a lot of Nigerians, for example, now are frowning against some of the economic policies of this administration, how that people are suffering, and we're talking about the recent one now is cybersecurity tax. And somebody made a post this month. I hope we don't get to a time where we'll have tax on oxygen. Like, because why are we trying to suffocate people?
I saw one cartoon, Joyce.
Do you understand?
a mother breastfeeding her daughter. Then one guy with his briefcase coming asking for tax. Yes.
So we just hope we don't get to that point, because it's like every day the rich are thinking of how can we get from somebody that is already suffocated. How can we get, and they keep coming with different policies, disregarding the feeling, the current state, the hardship that the people are faced with. You are still thinking of how to bring more, and that's just the common example you find even in our businesses or in our organization. You are the head, like your pay compared to your staff is nothing to be compared, but the little one they're supposed to give, you still want to hoard it. Like, that's lack of financial integrity.
And I know people that when someone was talking about self-control, I know someone that monies are being given to the person, and he does not use any amount from it. In fact, he would not even make change. I have 1,000, I want to break it. He would not do that. The way that money was given to him, that is how he will go and keep it. I think the highest is he'll just tie it in a nylon or something, just to separate it from any other money he has. And even if it's a year that money will stay with him, he will keep it. He doesn't even want to take it to the bank. Probably he might be in need and say, okay, let me use from it. He just keeps it. The day you would ask him for it, he just asks for a moment, picks it the same way it was folded, he gives it back to you.
Financial integrity.
Exactly. That is self-control. And what comes to my mind a lot of times, was there not any point that you needed money so much and it was so genuine that you could use? He said he had moments like that, but this is not his money. Those moments would have come and he didn't have this money with him. So what would have happened? So if that money is not for him, it is not for him. He rather do any other thing to get money than to pick that. For me, I feel that is self-control. That is financial integrity. You know that it is not yours. You would have easily used it and then even replace it. Nobody would have any idea. But because you know that it is not your own, needs keep coming and keep going. And you know that there's this spirit that when you have money, plenty needs will just start surfacing from different angles, the ones that did not even exist. So for me, if you have self-control, it helps you in tackling finances, whether they are yours or they are not yours, whether they dashed you or they gave you to keep it, whatever it is, you will be able to tackle it with ease. Not that you're sitting, you're looking at it, you're wondering, should I go? No. You'll be able to tackle it easily.
And you know what? The illustration she just gave, I know of another person who does this. He keeps the money just like she mentioned for however long that money is there. But anytime he comes to give you back the money, he brings out some from his pocket and add, in case anybody from his house came across the money and removed it. Wow. So that I'm accountable. Let's not have any issue when it comes to talking about money. These are people
that just tarnish your image, like lack of financial integrity. Like it can damage your reputation. Nobody wants to do business with you, and throughout life you must do things with people. You must relate with people, and it's at your own debt. You will lose a lot if you are not accountable, especially when it has to do with money. And some people's own is lack of discipline.
Yes.
Like if you are not disciplined with your own, apparently I can't trust you with my own.
Exactly.
People cannot trust you, and that's why when they're doing, let's do contribution, they say, first question people asking, who will keep the money? And when you say it's this person, say, I'm not going to be part of it. Or who is collecting first? If it's this person, it means it will not get to my turn. Sometimes what we do again is, apart from spending money, you ask somebody to give you money, and you say, I'm going to return it tomorrow. And tomorrow reaches, you don't return the money next tomorrow, and you don't say anything. Is it responsibility? Yes, because if you have financial integrity, and I say, okay, can I have this tomorrow? I'm going to give you, and you are very certain that you are expecting. Apparently tomorrow is the last day of the month. I should be paid salary, and you are not paid. Your office, maybe because of one challenge or the other, they couldn't pay you. Ideal thing to do is to go to that person and say, I'm really sorry. I actually was expecting this month, but it didn't come. But for it to go mute is the height of irresponsibility. Is lack of financial integrity. You cannot say, okay, borrow me 1,000, and you collect it. You said borrow. You didn't say give me. You say borrow and you don't return it. Is lack of financial integrity. Well, I just forgot. It's an oversight. But when you were collecting, you did not forget to ask for it.
You were pressing.
Do you understand? Sometimes we always think that people have a lot of money, so they don't have any plan there. What you are complaining of 1,000 there when you have 1 billion there. As far as you collect it in the name of borrow, you should return it. If you ask the person that, I'm really helpless at this moment, I don't know if you can assist me, then the person knows that I'm assisting. But if you use the name borrow, be responsible enough to return the money. Today, I shared the story of this guy that was in need. Exams was like the following week, and then he's yet to pay his school fees, and the instruction is clear. If you don't have your school fees, you're not writing this exam. This guy was up and about looking for money, and there was nobody to give him that money. his family, so amongst his friends. And one of our classmates, he met her, and he said, please, if you can do, I know the balance is just 10,000 there. And she gave him. He said, by next month, I'm going to give you. The exam finished next month, 2 months, 3 months. He didn't return the money. And she asked him, you said I should borrow you this money, and I did. And you said you're going to give me 3 months down the line. I'm going to give you now, rudely. And then he kept procrastinating. I got to a point. She said, guy, you have to pay that money. I like, it's not something that I cannot leave for you. But you didn't say I should give you. You said I should borrow you. You even gave a timeline. And you failed. You didn't even feel remorseful.
Yes.
You were giving attitude on it. And then when she complained, she called me and said, this is what this person did. And I called him, say, why is she disturbing him? Even Nigeria is owing China. And I called her, I said, Thor, he said, even Nigeria is owing China, so you have to. She will call police. I said, no, calm down. I said, what? When he said, even Nigeria is owing China, I said, you did not know Nigeria is owing China when you had to pay your school fees.
And you suddenly forgot all you went through before you got that money.
People who borrow money and still feel entitled to the money that they borrow. Like you that gave them, you don't have the right to question them. When you question or ask for your money, it becomes a talk of the town.
And you're not talking about entitlement. Someone will come and ask you for money, probably borrowing or just asking. Maybe I'm asking you for 20,000 naira, and then you tell me, I don't have 20,000 naira, but I can give you 10 or 5. And then I begin insulting. You have that money. You just don't want to give. So what if I have the money and I don't want to give you? It is my money and I worked for it. So that is financial lack of financial integrity. Because what I could not provide for myself, I am putting it on someone else to provide for me, and the person is even able to raise half of it. I should be more than grateful.
You don't know that they have budget before
I
your
should be
salary
more
comes.
than grateful to you.
Their budget
Instead,
is set.
I am on your neck. You can give me more than this. You just don't want to get.
They'll say,
That is
Sister Jemima,
that is a bad
somebody that they
attitude.
paid her last week, and
This is what
he has
she
already
is
done his
earning.
budget,
Yes.
and she refused
And
to
I
give.
asked her for 50,000.
Just
She's just
50,
giving
oh.
me 20.
Oh
And
my
you
God.
cannot-
People have mind.
Exactly. And there's something else we also do. See, you were given money for a specific thing to do, and then you will say, oh no, this money is too much for me to do this, and then you just carry you take what is up, like you've used it exactly. You actually did what the money was stapled for, but you carry the remaining part of the money and use it for something else, and you're not even informing the person who gave you that money in the first place. Like, this is what I did, and this is what remained, and this is what I did with it next, or I want to do this with it. Is that fine with you? We don't even do that. We just feel entitled. Okay, so since the money has entered my pocket, I can go ahead and just use it the way I want to. But this is integrity. Tomorrow, when you have something doing, if you have that kind of, I mean, if a group of you have something doing, they will still recommend you because they know that you would account for every penny that you spend. But we don't do that. It's like the way we've been talking about how people are just entitled on other people's funds. This is not yours. This has a title on it. It is stapled for catering. And you finished the catering for the event. You've done that. Everything is set for it. You're just waiting for the event, and something comes up and you need to block it for the same event. But you're not informing the community the committee or the community or the group that this is what I'm doing next with the remaining part of the money. You're already cheating those people. And this idea actually came to my mind because I just remembered how the general manager always talks about how a wife is cheating her husband if she doesn't use the money he has given her for food, just for food, and she ends up using part of it for clothes. If she's using part of it for clothes, it's a simple thing. Also, okay, so this happened. You were not so close, so I just used this to buy this. He's in the know. She's being accountable. These are tiny little things that we do and we take for granted.
that you asked for, you came up with a budget and say you're buying bag of rice 50,000, you're buying this, you gave your husband and he gave you the money and you decided to cut it, like a lot of women
Yes,
to do
the
that.
next time
now
you do that, he won't give you up to that amount because he would feel you would still cut it and do something else with it. So even in our accountability, we should not keep repeating the same things over. You cannot keep giving me money for food and I keep using part of it for clothes. It means you would not always give me the complete money, and eventually you might stop
Or
giving
maybe
me
the
for
husband should
clothes.
be giving them money for clothes so that you will not be
Yes, and eventually you might stop giving me
You
for
are right.
clothes.
You are right. You are right. I
Because
was
you
just
will feel that if you give me for clothes, I have already bought clothes from the food money. So
Yeah.
it discourages people from giving you their maximum support on certain things. No, they are trying,
I was
they are
about
trying.
saying that because some women, the reason why they do that is because that's
They
the
don't even
only
get
way
money for clothes
they
at
get
all.
money
Or
to
other
do other
things,
things to take
yes.
care of themselves, which is very wrong. But like I said, even yesterday, sin is sin. Today I said it, sin is sin. No matter how you cut your corners to do something, and that's why they polish it now. They said smartness.
It's not.
That's
it's
the
not-
that's the
it's not
word now.
smartness.
No, that's the word now they give it. You will hear them if they are discussing. Are you not smart? You should have another way of how to get the money now when asking. You must not necessarily say this. When you are putting requests of this, add this and add this. That's how they put it.
Let me give you
You understand? They will say, be smart about it.
Sambo Solomon,
Mm.
this woman went and paid her children's school fees. So after paying the children's school fees, she told the husband that they're about to send these children. They're about, but she had already paid. So it's like she spoke with the school authority or whoever is there that when he comes, I'm going to pay, but when he comes, you collect the money. So when you collect the money, you call me. So when I come, I'm going to collect my money back. Unfortunately, I think the husband later found out that the woman had already paid the school fees, and then she kept like pushing that he should go and pay the school fees. So that man was lamenting, like his pain is not that okay, she had paid already, but how that she dragged him to the school to go, like it's his reputation was like dragged or something. His concern was more of the impression that the school will have about him, because he was like, you would have told me this, even if you would tell me you borrowed the money, so I will give you, but dragging me
Between me
to
and
go to
you.
the school, like it just tells them I'm irresponsible and no, you can't.
Exactly.
So the man was really lamenting how that so, but why would you get to that point? I'm not supporting what the woman like actually did, but I'm also thinking that why did it get to that point, to that level? Okay, does that mean if she didn't do that way, he wouldn't have given? Because we have women that will always say when the husband asks for money, hi, can you help me get this money? She say, it's for our fellowship group, or it's for our committee of friends, or it's office money. But maybe it's because of that the two shall become one. So if you collect from her, he will not return it. That's why it's common to always hear women say, it's kudi ajia o, it's for church
It's
o.
mama want it.
That,
mama want
because
the money.
you hear the mothers will tell you that if you say it's your, you will not pay you. The two have become one. It will become our money. So maybe that's why. But regardless, I mean, regardless, can we be accountable? Can we be that transparent that, like, our yes will be our yes? We can be trusted with money. I mean, even if you are at home, if you say you're buying bag of rice, let it be bag of rice. If you need money for clothes, let it be, oh, I really need to get this dress. Like, can we trust each other such that comfortably you don't need to look for, and the husband too, can you be responsible to the point that she doesn't have to come up with those
Yes, and
stories?
you know that some men can be so reckless with money because, okay, let me say this: women are good managers. Most,
I was going to say a number.
most. If you allow me, it can just be personal. But I think most women,
That's why I said
most
some.
women, if you check, and if you find out how homes that are balanced, find out very well, is because the woman is prudent. Check it. Any house that you see that is not really balanced, you'll find out that possibly the woman is not financially like accountable. I'm telling you this because a woman, she's thinking of what her children will eat today, tomorrow, and next week. She's thinking of what they will wear. So whatever comes in, that's the woman that has sense. That all her thinking is about her home. That's why the Bible say, woman, the Proverbs, right, talks about a woman that builds her home by herself. You know, a woman that is not prudent. You know, Bible cannot describe her like that. You will find that all rounder. Because if she's found wanting in one area, you will find that the house is not balanced. So men sometimes they are just so reckless. They can dash their friends' money. They can do this. They can do all kind of things. Not that they do it, let's say, in a wrong way, like go to drink, womanize, and something. I know that one is there, but I'm even talking about this one that yes, he is doing good, but he's not even really considering certain things. And most times you find that that's where husband and wife fight. They'll be like, yes, I didn't say you should not help, you should not be kind, but there are certain things you should consider. At that time, he's feeling his ego. After all, I'm the man. I bring the money, so you don't challenge me on who I should be nice to and some things like that. After all, I'm the one that brings the money. So sometimes you find that the women will be smart to bring out certain things, the way they will control the money that comes in. So before you know it, there are certain demands that you will put, and then you'll be like, how comes? She'll be like, yes, look at them now, they are genuine. But in the real sense, she just want to control the money in his hand. And before you know it, the money is with her, and there is issue in the house, and then we'll be like, how are we going to do? And then here's the woman bring this money and said, can you use this? Where did you get it? From that part of money. You remember this, and you'll be like, okay, how about school fees? I'll pay it half. Because part of it, I've done this, I've done that. And that's when you will begin to see the man is like, oh, wow, thank you. I appreciate you. We have women like that. And they are the reason why the home is moving, like moving well. But in a situation whereby you understand you are just playing smartness in the sense that you are thinking of your family and you feel you can just milk the man anyhow. You tap this, you tap that, the rice is still remaining half back, but you hide it. You understand? You still have, yes, there are women like that. And they will tell you there's nothing. And they would even, it will not stop there. They will drag your children to eat. That if your father asks you about this, say this.
You not eat since morning.
Do you get it?
You know, talking about women either being the backbone of the home or tarnishing it down. There's this story I know of a woman. Her husband knew how much she was collecting as salary, and then it wasn't much. It was really small, according to what she told him, of course. And then she was promoted. She told the husband she was promoted, and he asked how much she's earning, and she just added a little to what she said she was given. And then he was the one footing the bills in everything, doing every single thing, school fees and all of that. At a point, she complained to him that her workplace was really far. She would need a car. And he promised, okay, he would get it for her. She kept being on his neck to get a car. He had to go get a loan to complete to whatever he had and got the car for her. And things kept going on like that until eventually she was using her laptop one day and then she left it and went to sleep. So he came to put it off for her. And the last page she was on was her transaction details. And he was so shocked to see the amount he was seeing. And because of that, he had to wake her up and ask her. She was so sleepy and couldn't answer. He went through her phone. According to him, he said that was something he doesn't normally do, going through her phone. But he had to because he was so curious and she wasn't answering him. And he saw that what she told him she was receiving as a salary was nothing compared to what in fact, she was receiving more than him. and she had built a house for her family. She got a car for her brother. She did a lot of things, and he was so angry. He in the morning he spoke about it. Her family had to come in because he felt they were doing everything together without him. And her family, her dad was saying he didn't even know that he was not aware. He thought the wife told him, and that brought a lot of things into the marriage. And so it goes a long way to buttress what you said. The woman can either be the backbone to help the family, or be that person that helped to bring her family down. So it depends on which aspect you're
Just
seeing
lack
it.
of transparency.
Yeah.
True,
Even on the part of the
accountability.
man too.
Yes.
You know that you have 10,000, but you come home and say, they say, oh, they need to buy this, and you that's the last one that I have. Later they will now say, oh, the bulb just is the last, so nobody should come. So both of you are doing the last for yourself. So when she's but there's no excuse for failure.
Sharing 2,000.
Yeah, you hide when you want to go home. You now start dividing the money.
Someone died. They went helter skelter looking for money, and the person had money on her. They didn't even know she had money on her until she died, and they saw it.
Amount they were looking for to pay.
You had more than that for the treatment, but you left your husband going helter skelter looking for money that you have. Probably she didn't know she would die. Maybe that was why.
But how do we build build financial integrity? Because we have mentioned it a lot of times. We are found wanting when it comes to financial integrity. At offices, you see people signing receipts, putting an amount that is not supposed to. At home, you see wives inflating prices. You see the husband not being accountable. You collect salary and say, I've not been paid. Like, you find that people are being asked as staff in the office, go and buy this, they go and inflate or buy lesser. People collect contracts, and then they do beyond what. I see buildings just collapsing almost everywhere. For me, I think it's a collective responsibility if we want to get things working. But what must we do? What must we do to ensure that we have this financial integrity beyond the people who point fingers at? How can we build financial integrity? I'll just quickly say one of it is transparency. Like I said earlier on, when you are supposed to give somebody something, give the person. And if you don't, or for one reason or the other, explain. Don't say, I just paid salary, or we just paid them salary yesterday. They will not need this allowance. Let's use it. It might not be that you're eating the money or embezzling the money, but using it for another cost is lack of financial integrity. If you are collecting money for so purpose, use it for that purpose. If for any reason you need money for another thing, I mean, almost every organization have policies and guiding principles. There are ethics that apply to, especially money. I mean, today in church we're having audit department. Should we have? Before, in the days of old, they said when something is wrong, when there's dispute, they just call a pastor and then everything is settled. But today, even the church, today, even in the church, like, you find out that there's an announcement that audits are coming for department are coming for audit exercise. Why? Because people even decide to steal money even in the church. It might not be stealing, but using money for the wrong reason or mismanagement. So I think when we are transparent, like, communicate, like, you collect money for this is what you use it. Like, if there are evidence receipts, give it. And then accountability as well. Let people know what you use this for. Don't think that, oh, it has come, so I just spent it because I had this. It might be a genuine reason. Oh, I fell sick, I need to get drugs. But that money was not meant for that. So the fact that you use that money for drugs, you lack financial integrity if there's no explanation that is attached to it. So no matter what, I think the key thing to do is just to have transparency. You should be accountable, and that will in turn make you to be a trustworthy person. They just say, hold this money, and the next time they ask you bring the 10,000, and you say, sorry, it's 9,000. What rubbish is that? Like, I've had that experience with people. Just keep this money, and after some hours, you are behind that money, and say that, sorry, it's 9,000.
So wow.
I mean, Kai, please.
And I think
It had
it's
legs.
important, again, we check our spending, because sometimes we just spend on things that we don't really need. We spend on want, and then we should watch I would say sometimes it's because of competition. when you put some unnecessary competitions that are not healthy. That's when you begin to look for money left, right, and center just to meet up. And if you are a kind of person that compete with people unnecessary, you will find yourself just taking from here, taking from, because I want to meet up with the standard of Joyce. I want to meet up with your standard. I want to meet up with her standard. So at the end of the day, I'm not watching my income. Like, what's your income? Can we spend within the confine of our income? If we spend within, yeah, but I just feel
the income, I don't know if you can relate.
yes,
the income and your needs.
you see, that's the discipline we are talking about. The discipline we are talking about, the self-control we are talking about. That's the reason why, if we talk about it, finally, let's come to the Bible. What did the Bible say? Be contented with what we have. So let's just be contented. Once you are contented, I think it solved the whole thing.
Do not bite more than you can chew. Just
Very.
we used to say cut your coat according to your size, but Joyce said cut it according to the material you have.
According to the final,
Instead of making gown, just make blouse. So don't bite more than you can chew. That is.
That's why people just go to debt unnecessary.
Yes.
You are biting more than you can chew. Unhealthy competition, like he said.
Yes.
Why do that? The Bible has made it clear. Be contented with what you have. That's why they will give you money. Keep this. But because you want to compete with Sambo Slomo, you saw shoe, you want to go and buy the shoe. You see, you just use the money and say, where is the 10,000? It's 9,000. Like, please.
So you have to make a decision before you even get to accountability, transparency. You have to decide first that I want to do this.
It starts with you.
Yes, it starts with you. So you have to, when you decide, you have to shut your eyes over every other thing that would make you not to have integrity financially.
The Bible says, if you are honest, if you are
With the
faithful
little.
with the little, you'll be trusted with
bigger things.
things.
Prudence, before you conclude, have you seen those people that you ask for money and they start doing like this? Hey? But I had one. They gave you money to keep, and you know very well you went and ate the.
So your pocket has a hole,
and then you are being asked, I thought it's in my pocket. Somebody entered my office. Somebody opened my drawer. It's unnecessary. Tomorrow when they say they are looking for treasurer for the association, don't go there.
You won't even come last.
You will not be on that list. Well, really lovely conversation we just had. And just before we close, I had this very short, let me just give this very short story. So someone gave his ATM out to someone to withdraw money for him. This is okay, they were going to the farm actually, and they needed funds so they can pay the farm hands, and he gave his ATM, and at the end of the day, the money that he saw coming out of his account was more than what he was bargaining for. So this is just people not being truthful about things. That's just it. So on the long run, however it is, however small the money that is handed to you is, however large it is, just be sure that you're the same way we talk about integrity and we say let your yes be yes and your no be no. That is how you should work with your finances. Not just your finances, but any funds that is being assigned to you. Make sure that you don't misuse it for any reason. Make sure that you are not the reason why certain people are not getting what they deserve just because you decided to siphon funds. So just be conscious about finances. It's really important. If not, your integrity in a whole is down the drain. I hope that we'll chew on this until you join us again tomorrow for another beautiful episode. Lovely topic, actually. I promise you're not going to regret this. So join us tomorrow. It's going to be a very beautiful time with you. Thank you for staying with us today. We really appreciate you. Sorry we could not take your comments today. We are actually acknowledging them, and we really appreciate you staying. So thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.